Welcome to the Juice Crew podcast, where ex-athletes come to relive their glory days and talk about life beyond the game. So grab a cup and enjoy.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Cheers,
sir.
yes,
Cheers.
Cheers, fellas.
Yes, sir.
The Juice Crew is back together.
The family.
Nearly complete, full Juice Crew squad in the building. Mike, Chase, you guys want to real quick introduce yourselves? Mike, you can kick it off. Just give you like your name, maybe a little bit of background information, just a quick introduction of yourselves.
Yeah, my name is Mike Vick. I went to East Brunswick High School. Went to Rutgers-Newark for college. That's where I met these guys, these fine gentlemen over here. You know,
The gang.
met them
Yes,
through
sir.
basketball. We dormed together. You know, formed a close bond. Played 4 years at Rutgers-Newark, and yeah, that's where it got started at.
Yes, sir.
Sir, well, I'm Chase Barneys. Went to Colonial High School, played basketball, football. Ended up going to Rutgers-Newark. Came in with all of these guys, freshman, man. Going to the workouts in the morning, afternoon, man. Just good times, man. Good to be with them, for sure.
Definitely. Juice Crew, as mentioned, is all back in the building. We got a full house. And like they said, we got started with basketball. You guys know on this podcast, you know, we like to bring you stories on ex-athletes, current athletes, and really just talk about the life and lifelong friendships and bonds that are formed over this game. And that's exactly what happened here with Mike and CB and the Juice Crew. And I'll actually give one of my first introductions to Mr. Chase Barney himself. 1K man, we'll call him.
Mr. 1K.
We were both actually in a summer program. He did EOF and I was in like this business student transition program. And, you know, we just like, you know, we kind of have class throughout the day, but you get some rec time to go, you know, get in the gym, play some basketball. And so I'm seeing who's around me in my program. And I'm clearly like, all right, I'm definitely, none of them are any good at basketball. So I'm chilling. And then they tell me like, oh, nah, we got to play EOF. We got a game. Like, we got like EOF versus B-Star. So we pull up in the building and I'm like casually chilling, you know, just like, you know, season's about to come. So I'm not trying to get hurt. And this dude Chase is just getting like, not really going hard, but getting to like a one dribble pull up, knock down, like step back, you know, not got big ass Fred coming to set the screen to get into the pick and roll. And I'm like, okay, we got some hoopers here. We got some hoopers here at Rutgers-Newark this year. But yeah, I love these guys, Mike, CB. Today we're going to jump into a lot with them, get into their early days. They have a very similar story to all of us in terms of the rivals turned family deal. GMC, I mean, for what you want to say about that conference, I think Big North is still a little better. Well, we can have
Flexing our muscles.
we can have that conversation. But we got a lot in store for you guys today, and we just really gonna kick it off by, you know, talking about those early days. So, Mike, why don't we start with you, East Brunswick, and maybe the first matchup against Chase at Colonia High School. What was that like? Was that your first introduction, or did you know Chase before the game?
Yeah, they go like way further back than that. I met Chase when I was like 9 years old. We played AAU together, battle basketball. And he was playing on my age group, and he was playing up with like Tyus, Jameer, and them. That team was loaded. Like
I trust me, I know.
Yeah, he was at Faces, right?
Yup.
Yeah, so that's where I met him at, and he was same old Chase, bro. He was just getting buckets since we were younger, bro. I don't know how, but just getting to it, and that's where I met him at, and then probably didn't see him like throughout middle school, like separated, went separate ways, different paths, different AAU teams and whatnot, and then I didn't get to see him again until high school, really. So really, and the first time I played against him was my junior year in GMCs, the semifinals. We played each other, and they was kicking on.
What happened?
Yeah, it was getting scary, bro. We was down like 15 heading into the fourth, but you know, never say never. We don't quit, son. Dogging us. So. Came back, made a little run, cut it down to like 5, but just wasn't enough. They was nice that year. They won the whole thing. They played they beat St. Joe's. They ended they like GMC championship streak and whatnot. They was legit that year.
So it sounds like you've been playing with just a lot of talent. So let me hear your perspective on, you know, me and Mike battling with Mike.
Man, well, when we was younger, we played with Team Battle, of course. But the year before, I was playing with Tyus and Jameer, and we went down to nationals, and we won. We were ranked third in the country. I mean, we only lost one game down there, our first game, and then there on out, we won the whole thing, came third. Then the next year, I started playing with Mike Vick, you feel me? and we just formed a great bond. We didn't get to play each other in middle school, play with each other, but we were both freshmen, and I was hearing about Cardinal McCarrick and stuff. And they're saying Mike Vick's playing. I said, Mike Vick? What? Mike Vick playing varsity too? So it was kind of crazy, but then our junior year, we finally got to play each other, got to match up with each other, man. Good times, man. Good battles. But our junior year, we took it, man. Oh, we were nice. We were good. We were good.
Next year we got them.
Yeah, they got
next
us
year. Got them the next year, senior year.
As long as you got your get back.
That's facts. Now, Chase, your junior year, was that the year you won state championship in football and basketball?
Nah, so our junior year, we lost in the championship at Rutgers.
Okay.
We lost to Phillipsburg. So then in basketball, we had to go get it. Like there was no questions, no excuses. Because they were all seniors. All my guys were seniors. So it was the last time on the court together. So I mean, we just went out there and played hard as hell.
Yeah.
Like, oof. We was getting down and dirty, man, for real.
Talk a little bit about your run as the QB over there at Colonial too. I know you was a little quarterback and you state champion in football and basketball. Talk a little about your state championship run in football too.
Crazy because I never did. Oh yeah. So our junior year, we had to put in our new turf, man. Oh my God, we had three guys go D1 from our football team, man. Crazy. I mean, and I liked football, but I didn't really work on my game. You know what I'm saying? So everything was just so fluid. Like, oh man, what God gave me, man, it's so good. I'm so blessed, man. Like I was really good, but our senior year, they had put me at quarterback. I hadn't played quarterback 3 years. I didn't play since freshman. You know what I'm saying? I've been playing corner and receiver. So coming back there, just getting tossed and all that, learning the plays over at quarterback, seeing the defense, you know what I'm saying? Just learning and progressing. I mean, wonderful experience, man.
Double sports, but it is March, guys. It is March, and I couldn't have my good friend Chase on the podcast, and we got a Cinderella story going on right now in basketball. And while we're talking about Jersey hoops, St. Peter's pulls off the big time upset. Shaheem Holloway and the crew beat Kentucky. D-Lo, what's your initial reaction? I know you have some friends that play on St. Peter's as well, so this is probably a little bit of a double-edged sword for you,
Yeah, it was bittersweet, but you know what? If there was any team that could have beat them, you know what? Shout out to St. Peter's and my boy Doug Eder. He was going crazy, bro. He was going crazy. He went crazy yesterday too against Lagoya. Yo, he can hoop, bro. He can really hoop. So I guess if there's any team that could have done it, I'd rather it be someone that I at least know that I'm boys with at the end of the day. It's definitely easier to stomach. I texted him after the game. I was like, yo, congrats on the game. I was like, I didn't think y'all was gonna do it. I told him, I was like, I didn't think y'all was gonna do it. But shout out to y'all. You was hooping, bro. He was just hyped for the win, man. I mean, and that city's jumping right now. I don't know if y'all seen some of the news coverage on that. Bro, they got his face everywhere with the mustache going. I'm like, yo. So shout out to St. Peter. Shout out to their coach, too, for getting them prepared for these war games. They going up against bigger, more athletic, stronger teams than them, and they just outworking them, bro. They just outworking them for real, man.
Yeah, he's taking over the moment, and it's funny. We had the duo episode on Thursday while the Kentucky game was going on, and we were, mentioning Doug and wishing him luck, and if Kentucky lost, D-Lo was saying to his point, he rather be his boy. So it was just crazy. Right after we said that, he going crazy in the tournament, so I guess he's been tapping into our podcast.
Hitting clutch shots, bro. I tuned into the end of the game. I was like, of all people to knock my boys out, it was going to be him at these last second shots. I'm like, yo.
He's been hooping.
Nah, for real. But, yo, I want to talk about a specific game with y'all because this is a dorm room legend here because there's two games that was always talked about in the dorms, in our dorm rooms. PC versus Bergen because of us, our rivalry. Yeah. And Colonial versus East Brunswick. There was one particular game y'all senior year. Coach Locke in the building. Coach Locke in the building watching y'all. Coach Locke was actually at the game we played y'all the first game, and he was at y'all game. I want y'all to talk about that game from both y'all perspectives. I mean, because I've heard both y'all perspectives, and it's two different. Definitely two different views. So I need to hear both of y'all talk about that game y'all senior year.
It's two different. I'm gonna give you the truth. All right? I'm gonna give you the truth. I ain't gonna gas. You better give him the truth. So I had to. My coach was like, all right, you got Chase Barneys, you got that matchup, whatever. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna guard him, whatever. And he was just going crazy, yo. But I'm playing good defense, like hand in his face. He making shots that nobody was making on me all year, and I'm just like, yo, what's going on? I remember I was at the free throw line, and my coach is like, no, he was at the free throw line, and I'm like standing like lined up at the line or whatever. And my coach, he called me out in front of everybody. He's like, yo, Mike. He was like, he has 15 points. He was like, it's the first half. I'm like, what you want me to do, bro? I'm like, yo, I'm guarding him or whatever. And we get to the locker room. I'm just mad because I heard he had like 20 in the first half. And I'm guarding him, bro. In the second half, I think we were barely winning. And in the second half, we had to go to zone. I ain't gonna lie. We went to zone, whatever. But I started frying him. I was hot. But his twin Bryce was guarding me. So. Bryce, it's the big. Bro. After that, at the second half, we took over. We separated and we went to zone. So we slowed Chase down a little bit. But the crazy thing is, he had 20 in the first half. I had 20 in the second half, and we both finished with 27. And we got them back from the junior year. You know, we had to get that one back senior year.
And so just before we go to your perspective, I just want to ask you, Mike, so, you know, defensive player of the year and all that, from a defensive standpoint, what makes Chase so hard to guard?
Just quick. And he played with so much confidence and like, I mean,
that's it right there.
There's some people you get into their chest, whatever, they fold and whatnot. Ball pressure makes some people, slow down a little bit, but like he had the utmost confidence in his game and whatnot, man. Like, and just so shifty and quick, step backs. Like, you got the full package of package.
For sure. And then just before we get to your point, just to our young viewers, the young guards watching, you know, they should really emulate Chase's game because he's an effective scorer and he plays within the offense. You know, we all play with CB, and I never felt like he was ball hogging or jogging. But you look up at the board, and it's like 25. You're like, yo, where the hell we in the first half with it? Like, so, you know, I definitely, if you want to model your game after a guard, you know, this is the guy to do it. What'd you say, 1,500 points?
1,500 points in college, man.
You know,
and a rack in high school.
I mean, stupid, bro. Like, the stuff I did, it doesn't come overnight. Like, that shit really takes work, like hours of work, just pain, sacrifice
sweat.
Video games, sacrifice hanging out with friends, just getting to it. Like, if you really want to be good, you want to be great, like, you're going to have to leave that other stuff to the side and really get to work for it.
Good advice. So we got Mike's truth. Now the Honcho side of the story.
I need to hear this first half.
So like, it's crazy because my senior team, we were okay, but we weren't really good. So like, I don't know how we ended up with like a 3 seed in the county tournament, right? So we run through a couple teams, and then we play East Brunswick, and they had most of their kids coming back from last year. So I know it's going to be like a difficult task, right? And I'm warming up and stuff, and I see a red shirt walk in the building. All white. I said, oh, that's Coach Locke. Oh, Coach Locke in here. Okay, cool. This is going to be very interesting. You know what I'm saying? But, like, my mindset is just kill and win. Do whatever it takes for the team to win. So I come out on fire. Like, ooh, I was coming out. I was getting to the basket. I was making pull-ups. I was getting fouled, finishing through contact. Like, I was playing. That had to be one of my best halves in college. Just going crazy with like an unbelievable defender on me too. So I mean, like, oh man, I had so much confidence going in that game. Like Mike said, I played with a lot of confidence. Like, just trying to put my team in the best position to win for real.
For sure. And then, you know, I kind of asked Mike the question. Now I'll flip it to you. So you mentioned elite defender. What makes Mike so hard to score on?
Well, Mike is a smart basketball player, so he knows like what most people do, like hezzy cross, hezzy in and out, like the basic moves to get past somebody. And he's real long, so like it's really hard to really like get around him. Like, you really have to like shift him, like you have to get him out of your way. You know what I'm saying? And he's explosive. He can really jump. He did track in high school, so like if you try to like lay the ball on him, like he's gonna come up and jump up with you. Like, I'm not used to guards really doing that. It's usually like big man trying to block my shot. So I mean, his length is smart. He's really smart, and he just plays so hard, man.
And
Mike plays so hard, bro.
that preparation. Mike is the film guru. I wouldn't be surprised if Mike was in high school watching YouTube videos of you all night, Chase, before he went up against you.
I bet he was, man.
On it.
Yo. Nah, for real. That's what's up, though. So you talk about seeing Coach Locke pull up to the game. Did you guys feel any pressure from Coach Locke being at that game? You know, I know you both probably knew at that moment you both were getting recruited to go to Rutgers-Newark. So was there any, you know, nerves when you saw him coming to the game, or did you just throw fuel to the fire, really?
Just fuel to the fire, man. Like, you came here to watch me play, so I gotta come out and show out. Like, if you really want me, like, I'm gonna show you what I got. You know what I'm saying? And we both played well. Our conversation after the game, right? So we're walking out the high school, right? And my dad's talking to him. He's like, "Oh, we're getting recruited by the same school, Rutgers-Newark and stuff." And I was like, "Yo, Mike, you getting recruited by Rutgers-Newark?" He was like, "Yeah, I just talked to him right now." I was like, "Yo, I think I'm gonna go there. Like, you want to do this together?" He was like, "Yeah, bro. Like, let's do it."
That was basically it. That was the commitment right there.
That was it right there.
After the game, he told me he was going there. Like, he basically said, he was like, "Yo, like, I'm going." I'm like, "Oh, we out." Like, it was really that simple.
And I think that's really, because I think about like Rutgers-Newark and like Coach Locke. One thing that I will say in terms of like the recruiting process, like I really value how like he will really pull up to like almost all your games like that he possibly could. And I think that's the difference between like sometimes like a coach that might send a scout or like maybe send their assistant coach. Like Coach Locke was really invested. Like he wanted to go see the games for himself, and I really like thought that was amazing in terms of the process for us. I know he was at a bunch of me and Landon's game. Funny story though, he thought Landon was a junior. Like when I was a senior, so he was really coming like and recruiting me. And he's like, I was like got his eyes like L starred up for next year, and then he found out he's like, oh wait, Landon, need to get him in here.
Oh, I got a quick story here because y'all talk about how excited y'all were to come play with each other. I'm not gonna hold you. I ain't want to play with Ty. I ain't want to play with Ty, bro. I did not bangs with mans, bro. For real, like we weren't friends beforehand or anything like that. So it was just like there was just a rivalry. Like we just did like PC Bergen was legit, bro. Between if you football, basketball, all that, it was legit hatred for PC dudes. And Landon was quiet, so you really couldn't hate Landon. Like he's the quiet assassin, he go in and do it, but he like game we played him at PC, like he had 15, 16, and you didn't even know it. Like he did. Ty was the one I ain't bang with though. We both guards. Ty the one that's gonna be talking his ish, you know what I'm saying? And we talked about this story before, but the first time I met Ty was we was going down what hall was that? I always forget the hall.
Boyden.
Was it Boyden? Yeah, I think it was Boyden. Whatever hall it was, bro. I see him where we're coming down in the summertime, and we just look at each other, and it's just like it's almost like we're forced to talk to each other.
Damn, coming here.
Yeah, like we knew what it was. It was like we forced to introduce each other, and in my head, I'm like, damn. But it's crazy how things work out. Now we're here doing a podcast together, so that is crazy
and whatnot.
Yeah.
What I will say to that point, D-Lo, I think we all kind of hated our conference. Like I couldn't stand. Like me and Brandon hasn't played together at Faces, and now we're still cool now. But at the time when we were playing against them, couldn't stand them. I know El couldn't stand Taj. Like at that time, like. Don't even get me started with Nate Garvey. I'm sorry, Nate, if you're watching this. We got love for you now, but me and Nate used to got some real bad times.
Chauncey was annoying, bro. Oh my god!
Shout out Chauncey. That was a tough, very tough guard. Bro.
Honestly, before I had to guard Chase, Chauncey probably was the toughest guard to guard. Like that. Talk about quick first step. Like this dude, like a little shorter than Chase, like got a quick first step. But I want to jump back in a little bit, like kind of close off this section of like talking about your early days. You guys kind of talked about you agreeing to go to Rutgers-Newark. At that time where you're like looking forward to Rutgers-Newark, what were you doing maybe in the off season leading into like I know there was like open gym runs at Rutgers-Newark. What were you doing? We'll start with UCB, like in terms of preparing for that season and preparing to like play college basketball.
Yeah. So after schools, right? So our football team has weight room, so. I would go after the season. I took a week off. I take a week off after every season, just to chill out, let my body heal, get my mind right. But I would go in with the football team, the younger kids that I played with and stuff. Just work out every day, take the late bus home, just chill, relax. Just trying to get my body right, just trying to get like bigger. Because like I'm 18, but now I'm about to start playing against 22, 21-year-olds that are
Unless you're
already
talking about
in,
NJCU, you know, you might be
What?
seeing a 24, 25 year old.
Yo, men,
Yo,
angry. They play angry and they play physical. I mean, like,
Bro, I remember we went to NJCU, bro, on the road, right? I think they were at the free throw line, and you know, at the time I was playing the 4. You know, I'm super frail, young. I'm like 8, we all 18 running out there. And I remember sitting at the line, and you know, he's dribbling, shoot the free throw, and I forgot the name, but he was the best rebounder on the team.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. But I remember he turned over to me. He was like, "Yo, bro, how old are you?" I was like 18, probably in my late ass voice. I was like 18. He was like, "Bro, I'm 10 years older than you, bro."
Yo.
I was like, "Yo, what?"
That's insane.
That's crazy. It was crazy, man. Just speak on. I wanted to ask you as well, like, speak on just balancing 2 sports. You know, doing the football and the basketball. Like, what's some advice you can give to our viewers who could be going through exactly what you're going through? Like, how did you manage to find time for both sports and, you know, excel in both sports as well?
Like I said, man, it's a lot of sacrifice. I mean, I recommend you playing 2 sports. Like, if you're thinking about quitting another sport just to focus on one, I recommend you just do 2. I mean, keeping your body moving, your body learns and adjusts to different ways. Like, you could be put on the field or on the court. Like, all the movement is the same, it's just for different purposes. So, I mean, just trying to get your body to, like, have control of all the motions you're doing. I mean, it works. It helps. It's a big help. I can tell you that.
I think that's a great point, honestly. I think people don't really look at it that way either. That's a great point. Because I think when I was used to play, you know, multiple sports, you know, baseball, basketball, football, like, I feel like all of them taught me a little bit something different. Whether it may not have been a certain skill set in each sport, but in terms of, like you said, moving your body, learning, you know, getting my first step, you know, learning how to explode different ways, learning different body movements. I think that really does really does help your body adapt to different types of movements and help you excel in the other sports for sure. But Mike, talk about, you know, your experience now leading up to Rutgers-Newark. What was your preparation like going into Rutgers-Newark, you know, coming out of high school?
So right after the season, I had started doing track or whatever, and that's when I really got like the most explosive I've ever been in my life. So that kind of helped me leading into Rutgers-Newark, you know, getting my explosiveness up, my bounce up, and my strength up. And then I was training probably like 2-3 times a week with this trainer, Eric, in Woodbridge. But what really got me right in the summer was we would do the camp, and Landon can attest to this. This is when I met Landon for the first time. We do the camp, and so whatever, Coach Locke's like, yeah, so like come in the morning, like 6 a.m., whatever. Like 6 a.m. We're gonna go in the weight room, and then we're gonna do some workouts or whatever. And I mean, it was hell, bro. It was bad. Waking up that early. I never really woke up that early to work out before in my life. You know, all my workouts were in the afternoon when I was younger. So, you know, waking up 6 in the morning and then doing these workouts with Coach Kurt, you trying to impress him, and he putting on this extra weight or whatever. Yes. And then we doing leg workouts. My legs are dead. And he's like, all right, yeah, we're going upstairs now. And we go upstairs and we're not even like playing basketball first. Like first he has us doing like burpees, you know, like jumping jacks, like squats. I'm like, yo, what is this? I'm like, it's my first day. I'm like, yo, this is a completely different world over here. And then and then I gotta go guard Mr. Tyler Ofran.
Yes, bro.
Oh man, if you're from Newark, man, you know about Tyler Ofran. You know about
Division 3 Kyrie Irving, bro. He's Division 3 Kyrie.
We've all had to take a crack at it at least once in some type of open gym setting. We've all stood in front of him before.
Speaking on the camp stories, bro, you hit it all on the head, bro. I remember that's the best way to describe it, bro, was just like hell, bro. I remember just waking up early, bro. We would put in, you know, work in the weight room, and the thing is, like, it was like a small group, so it would be like Tyler Ofray, it would be like Jordan McDaniels, like a Nadir. So in my case, I was like a tweener, so I wasn't a guard because I really couldn't handle like that, but I could shoot, but I could rebound, but wasn't big, so I'm not a big. So I was a tweener, so it was like every every day. It was like some workouts I had to go upstairs off the dead legs and have to guard Ty Ofre and deal with that. Or some days it was, I'm tired legs. I got to go to the post with Jordan McDaniel. So I remember, bro.
That don't sound fun.
It was just, because after those workouts, we have to do the camp in the camp counselor. And then right after that, open runs. And I remember open runs like Mont would come through. I have a crazy. I remember my first week of the camp, bro. I'll never forget this. I remember I doing my thing. I'm competing this, that, and third. So I like to play defense. I'm long, athletic, whatever. So I forgot who I was guarding, but they set a fade screen onto the corner, and I remember Coach Dube came from the block. Nobody called that screen out. Boom! I was back because he was fades the corner. I was backpedaling, just got smacked, and I fell. And he was like, "Get the fuck up!" Shit. And I remember that moment. I swore I was like, "Yo, that shit will never happen to me again." I remember that was like my welcome to fucking college. I was on the ground. I looked up, and he was like, "Yo, get the fuck up."
Yo, I had a couple of those welcome to college moments that summer. That one summer, man, it was bad, yo. You got to guard Tyler, and then you getting switched on to Jamonte. You're like, yeah, pick on him. I'm little. I'm 6'2", 165 at this time, yo. It was just bad, man. And it's especially doing the camp all day. You basically you on your feet from 6 a.m. till we finish open runs, really, because you doing the workouts in the morning, doing the camp from whatever 8 to 3. And then you open runs from 3 to 5, 6 o'clock.
Hours.
You know what I'm saying? It's a full day. You just on your feet.
That's a lot. And we get breakfast too.
Yo, freshman duties.
The worst part, bro. After we get our ass busted in the morning workout, Coach Locke all right, I'm gonna give you some money. You gotta go downstairs in the locker room, get everybody's orders, and walk to Annabelle's, and you gotta get some breakfast.
Wow. Gotta get breakfast.
There's something wrong, bro. They always
Chase, so did you have any welcome to college moments?
Yeah, man. Our open gym, I knew Tyler was the point guard, and I came in as a point guard, so I'm gonna guard the best player in the gym, every time. That's just how I was coached. You know what I'm saying? But there was this one day in the summer where Tyler was wilding, he was bugging. I mean, he could not miss if he wanted to. Step back, knock down, jab, rip, bayou, lay. I'm like, yo, where's the help? Where's the help? You guys see me getting killed. Where y'all at? There's nobody in the paint. I'm like, yo, forget this, man. I'm guarding somebody else. Forget that. I'm done. Switch off.
Want to know what is
Crazy.
A classic for me in terms of welcome to college? Rutgers-Newark specific, and y'all gonna know as soon as I say the line. Who's getting cooked today? So to give you guys the context behind that, we had a drill. It was a one-on-one drill. It's called Closeout Live.
Yes, sir.
But really, it's one-on-one. You get it's you don't have a dribble limit, but really it's 3 dribbles and you just start on the wing and you play on. You can't let the offense go middle. You can't if you get beat too bad. And the thing is, it's up to coach's discretion.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll get a stop, but he ain't like the
stop.
Really like the stop.
He ain't like how you did that.
You gotta do it again.
If you get beat middle and you block the shot, he nope, do it again. You got beat middle.
Yeah, I know. I remember, and so I'm then talking about the guard room that they talked about Tyler, but I remember our freshman year, CB, me, Mike, Ofre, we had KK, Corey. It was the guard room was Steve, Troy,
So you got that
Troy,
Go ahead.
Yo, we had to talk about that walkthrough one of these days. Right?
Nah.
We're gonna talk about it today.
Whoa. He was bugging in that walkthrough.
Yeah, 30 in a walkthrough.
30.
Yeah.
30 in a walkthrough.
I think that
all
counted
threes.
the time
All
they were
threes.
in that
All
game that day,
threes.
too.
had to. If you see somebody get 40 in the practice a few hours before the game, you gotta rock them out.
What walkthrough was this for? What game was it?
Ramapo.
Yeah.
Yep, Ramapo.
Yeah.
And mind you, this is me and Chase first game starting because a lot of things happen with the team that year. Injuries, whatever, players quitting and whatnot, mid-season. But so me and Chase are walking to practice together and we find out about Tyler, he hurt his knee the game before. We found out he was done for the season. And so coach come up to us. He was like, yeah, Tyler's hurt. He was like, you guys are starting next game. You guys are starting, basically, you guys have the starting roles. And this against Ramapo, like top 10 team in the country.
Just top 10
NJAC
team in the country.
that year.
Yo,
Like,
loaded squad.
We just talked about Chris Mosley last week.
Yo. So that's our first game.
Yeah.
That's our first game starting. And they used to play like this, like 1-3-1 press.
1-2-2.
1-2-2, right? Yeah, 1-2-2. And they had Mosley up at the top.
Yo.
First game starting, I think me and him combined for like 10 turnovers, easy.
Oh,
Easy,
yeah,
bro.
I was in on that one.
Yeah.
It was literally the first play I subbed in. I think it was from Mike and me. And so I'm watching the game. I'm like, all right. So the way Mike and Chase is breaking this press, they do like a back and forth, try to get it to the middle.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, that's kind of like a back and forth. Chase threw it over Mosley to me. So I tried to like throw it over. He took my pass out the air, lays it up, and is doing the ball again, locked the frame in my head up. I was it's legit. It's not like we in the end jack for
Yo.
I was like, that's crazy.
I remember
Crazy
just feeling so helpless because the game plan for that, I remember it was we had the big on the opposite end block, and then we had the two people on the opposite end corner. So it was just kind of screwed up. It was like a 3-on-2 in the front court, just leaving Mike and Chase out to starve, and I'm sitting all the way on the baseline, the other side, can't do anything with them, just watching Mosley just cause havoc. So I remember just feeling bad for my guards that day.
Pain.
Nah,
That's
yeah.
wild.
That was a long night.
Hey.
That's wild. But yo, we got again 2 decorated athletes here. I mean, Mike Vick, 2020 Defensive Player of the Year. Chase Barneys, he's a 1K scorer in college. He was NBA BC All Second Team, All Met Team, NJAC All First Team his senior year. I mean, we got 2 decorated athletes here today. But it wasn't always like that. Like you guys just said, as freshmen, you guys were young pups. You guys had to hit that learning curve. I want you guys to give y'all experience playing with my 2 co-hosts here, though, Landon and Ty. Talk about that freshman year experience, because as y'all know, I didn't play my freshman year with these guys, and I just realizing I don't know if this 5 has ever played together.
I'm gonna bring it up.
I don't know.
Mike and CB are gonna have a lot of words
I know.
to say about it.
Let them get it off their chest. This is what we're here for. They can get it off their chest. But let's talk about y'all freshman experience playing with these 2 guys, Landon and Ty.
Yeah. No, I enjoy playing with them. Like, they're great teammates and whatnot. Like we all had to earn our spots, especially like me, Chase, and Ty. Like Landon started off like with a good role at first, because he's athletic, 6'3", and could shoot the ball. So, you're gonna find a role. And he played hard freshman year. So he was playing right away. But me, Ty, and Chase, we had to like figure out ways to get on the court. So, I mean, and we like I wasn't like the most talented. I wasn't the best shooter. Like me and Ty, we wasn't getting buckets like CB and whatnot. So we had to like find ways to get on the court. It's like during practice, just diving on loose balls and everything, and just playing our heart out just to get on the court.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and we talked about this a little bit. I think maybe last episode where I was on, where like it was just like I really had to humble myself. I feel like in the beginning, because like early on, like I think it kind of hit me like a truck, and like I was really just riding the bench, like didn't have a role in the team and stuff. But then like I saw guys like Mike and CB and like their effort and their time, they were putting it on the defensive end. And so that's what I really started focusing on, like playing for Coach Locke. And that's what he really brought out of me as a player is like, really got to like play defense, because we just brought up Troy, and like Troy is a perfect example. Troy could get buckets with probably almost all of the best scorers on our team.
For sure.
But on the defensive side of the ball, like that's probably like where his weaknesses were, and that's why Coach wasn't really giving him the time. And so I kind of did some reflection on that side too. And I was like, you know what, I got to play defense if I want to get in the court. So I started taking closeout live like mad serious. And I remember the one day, like my turning point was like in closeout live. It was like a 3 drill stretch, and I was just killing. Like I love Steve. Shout out Steve, doing great things for the Miami Heat. Has his own show and everything.
Shout out to you, Steve, man. Appreciate you a lot, man.
Yo, hopefully we get to have him on here too, and chop it up with Steve. But I remember like, at that point, he was kind of like had the minutes that like I kind of wanted, and so we were going to close out live, and I was going crazy. Like I think I scored like 6 or 7 straight. Like, and like I got like Chase and Ofray, everybody like they not even in line no more. Everybody like made an arc, like just like waiting. So I'm like, I just gotta like work hard and grind. And then the next drill, like we had like a one-on-one defensive drill, and I remember I started late. Like like Steve got off to the early start, So he went around the chair, so I'm like busting my behind, and I like had like the chase down block, and then I was like, yeah, nah, like, so that practice right there, like, kind of felt like the turning point, gave me my confidence, and I was like, now I can really start cracking the rotation. So, but it was really playing with all these guys and seeing their effort on the defense end and committing to that.
Sure.
Yeah, from a fan perspective, I mean, for that freshman year, I could definitely tell you guys were young. We had a young team filtered on the court. You guys were playing heavy minutes, but you could tell we were just young.
Young.
You know, L had the 3-ball always on, and that 3-ball corner pocket was money. Chase, you could tell right away. He was like, you could tell this dude been getting buckets for his whole freshman year he was averaging double figures off the rip. Like that's not easy to do, and there's a reason he got to 1,000 points. You could tell Chase was scoring. Mike was a lengthy, play hard defender, had some good athleticism, and like you said, when Ty started getting some minutes, you could tell he started. You know, I always knew Ty as the shifty, guard that could score and stuff like that. Since you guys always played 2-3 at PC, I never really got to see his defensive prowess, but you could see now, playing under Coach Locke, what it did for his defense, going man to man. So that's kind of like my point of view from you guys from a fan perspective and what I saw. But you can tell that, you guys had talent. You know what I mean? The talent was there. It just needed time to definitely start to mature from that freshman year.
For sure, yeah. We were just young, it was like just a bunch of 17/18-year-olds because we all got like September birthdays. Yeah. But, so we were just, young pups, but we just had that ball of energy. And that's what really made that freshman year so fun.
For sure.
Because I know you guys remember the white being on wearing the white jerseys. So for those who don't know, the gray jerseys is for those who's like in the rotation. So starting off on the season, Coach Locke was going with the upperclassmen. I mean, to his credit, I mean, I would do that too.
Yeah.
Let the freshmen sit the bench, see the college game. They're young, let them develop a little bit. But so he was rocking out the seniors. So we were on white, and when you had a white jersey on, you ain't got nothing to lose. Like Coach can't demote you down to the second white team. You know what I'm saying? So
ain't no second white team.
Ain't nothing to lose. So we had the chemistry as well because we were always hanging out. Yeah. And Woodward. Yeah, Woodward. The OG spot. Yeah,
no cap.
But, just always hanging around in Woodward and stuff like that just translated to the court because when we played against that great team, we were just so locked in. Everybody played so hard. So I just want to ask you guys, what was like your favorite practice moment?
Favorite practice moment? I don't know if I have any favorite practice moments, but I started to enjoy practice because like, now that I think about it, like we practice for hour 45, 2 hours, and our games are like 40 minutes. It's like we practice more than we play in the game. So it's like if you really love basketball, like you would really love coming to practice because you're playing basketball every single day with a bond, with a family. So I mean, I started to like really like enjoy practice like my senior year, man. Like if I were to tell like all my kids that I'm coaching right now and all the young kids, man, like practice has to be like fun. Like you gotta love going to work, man, for sure. Yeah. And with you guys on the white team, like our white team was loaded. We were kicking the great team's ass some days. Like they was mad as hell, coach yelling, and we over here, I can't fuck with us. We was out here working. I mean, just trying to prove ourselves for real, man.
And Mike,
times.
Too, real quick, I want you to talk about, I know your freshman, either your freshman or sophomore year, you had to overcome some adversity too. You had a moment where you can speak more about, I'm not sure the exact terminology on it, but I know you came down with some sort of illness and you had to miss, a whole season of your career. Talk about a little bit, battling back from that and getting yourself, back on the playing court, overcoming that adversity.
Yeah, so after freshman year, whatever, we in the summer, and I was like losing weight, like. And I was already skinny, but I started losing like more weight and whatever. I'm like brushing it off. It's whatever. And so we go for our physical, and they said like my heart rate was racing, blah blah blah. They're like, you all right? Like you eat or something? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like I had breakfast, whatever. I had water and everything. And they was like, all right, just go get it checked out. So I go to the hospital. They check it out, give me an EKG. Long story short, they said I had like a thyroid problem. It's called hyperthyroidism. Graves' disease is called. And basically, like your like the thyroid controls like your heart and whatnot. And so basically like mine was hyper. So my heart rate was like too high and like it causes you to lose weight like gradually. So I'm like 6'2" and I'm like in the 150s at one point. And it's like what the hell? Like what's going on? And so they were like, yeah, you just got to take the season off, whatever, because it's not safe to play with and whatnot. So I took the season off. It was rough though, because I mean, like seeing just being on the sideline, like basically you hurt and there's nothing you could do, and like we weren't that good that year. We were talented, but we weren't winning games. So it's like we going on like 3-4 game losing streaks. And I'm like, dang, like I'm on the side, I can't do nothing about it. But then, I did the treatment and everything, got through that. And then about like January, February, I started practicing with the team. And like stuff just started to feel normal again. And then my main focus was getting like bigger, like gaining the weight that I lost to get back for the next year. And then came back next year. We had a decent year. I think we went like 16-13.
We had a winning season.
Our first win, like our first 2 years compared to our first 2 years, this is like, thank God, like finally like some type of success, something to build on. And then we went to ECACs, made the finals, so we carried that momentum into the next year, and then we had a great year, Chase senior year. And so that's really just battling through adversity, just sticking with the process, listen to the doctors and whatnot, and not feeling sorry for yourself, really,
Now, one thing that I was always clear about Mike is his passion for the game. This is one memory that always stuck out. We were playing at Stevens. This is like early on. Remind you, like I think Mike forgot his shoes this day. Like I
this
tweaked my knee.
NJCU.
Oh, that was NJCU.
Because I think I was playing, bro.
Yeah.
We got it in the game.
Hold on, let's go about that story. Let's go that one first.
We got it at the end.
At NJCU. Like Mike forgot his shoes. I forgot things. Something happened to me in warm up, but I was like, I ain't gonna play. So I was like I kind of hurt my knee, and then like it's like 3-4 minutes left, and he's like, Mike, Tylin, get in the game. I was like, and we just looked at each other like, oh well, let's go hoop.
Yeah.
But I remember we did play dumb hard like that, like that last 3-4 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
He was happy about it because you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, we just came in with energy and whatnot.
Yeah,
I was really thinking also though about the Stevens game though, where like we just could not get a stop, and I just remember sitting next to Mike and like we gave up a layup. Mike like slapped the floor. He's like, "Yo, we can't get a stop."
Oh,
bro.
And I was like,
Yo, that was bad.
Play defense,
That was bad.
Wants to win.
It's hard to watch that
It's
stuff,
hard.
Like when your team losing, you just on the bench. You like you think you can help. I'm a young freshman or whatever. I know I'm not supposed to get in and whatnot, but still, it's hard watching your team like get smacked to a team that you think you should be beating.
100%.
And so I just got hot.
And then I saw that carry over into to mine and your junior year, Mike, and then your senior year, Chase, when we were in practice and he would split us up and we would do like whatever, like our defensive stop drills or whatever, and we all got our own separate teams and stuff like that. Bro, you could see that in Mike's eyes, because every time Mike's team did some bullshit, bro, Mike is going crazy on his sideline, tweaking on his team about, yo, what do you, like, bro, slide there, it's not that hard, come on, like, yo, every time Mike's team did some bullshit on the defensive end, he was adamant about it. Like, yo, you could see that really start to carry over. So talk about a little bit of learning that from your early years and then taking that into now you're basically the leader on the team. You're basically one of the authority leaders on the team. Talk about how those early freshman years shaped you to mold you into the leader that you became.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want to go back to losing. So you do like whatever possible, whatever you got to do to pull that dog out of your teammates. Like, it don't matter who, you got to play the bad guy sometimes. I remember Coach, he would have like leadership meetings with me, Chase, and Quincy. And like just saying, not everybody is going to like you every day. Sometimes you're going to have to yell at this guy, that guy. You're going to get into a little altercation and whatnot. But it's going to help the team. And it did, like, because we had one of our better years. Like, that was my best year there. And so you just don't want to go back to losing, really, though. That's what it stems down to.
Yeah. That definitely was one of the best years because we made the playoffs. We got ourselves a nice
little home game.
Little home game. Well, W versus NJCU.
Oh, that
CB.
That was my dream, man.
Yo, talk about that.
Man.
You talk about that being your dream, man. This is the first year we got into the playoffs, man. Talk about that win and how that felt for you.
Well, first off, like when I was younger, like I always wanted to go like D1 and play in the tournament and like have like a huge crowd and really like ball. So like having that opportunity at Rutgers-Newark my senior year, man, like all the hard work that my teammates, our coaches put in, going through those growing pains our freshman and sophomore year, almost getting to the playoffs our junior year, just almost, but not there. But like to really get there and really like show out, man, like I'll never forget that stuff, man. Good times, man. For sure.
For sure. So, we move on to the senior year. How was it having D'Lo coming along? And I asked you as well, Mike, but how was it, welcoming D'Lo to the squad and finally playing with D?
It always helps when you bring in another dog, you feel me?
Facts.
Like I seen highlights of D'Lo play. I see him in a rec. I see you guys playing in a rec and shit. They coming back to the room. Oh, I just caught a dunk. Oh, we just won by 30, and I'm just sitting there with a straight face, like.
That's not true.
But to have family come in and really contribute, really like work hard. I mean, well, D'Lo's he knows about our process and how we just go after it defensively. I mean, it was a perfect fit for us. We really needed like another strong guard to really lock the other third guard up. Because me and Mike, we really fence. You know what I'm saying? We really play hard. But to have the 1 cover, the 2 cover, and the 3. I mean, nobody was really messing with us for real. I mean, it was just so fun, man. And we all connect. We all know how to play each other. I mean, just sharing the ball, just knowing where your teammate's gonna be. Like if you go to the basket, you got your man in the corner, you got your man behind you. And just adding family, man, nothing like it, man. For sure. Nothing like it.
Now, adding D'Lo was huge that year. Like we needed, like you said, we needed that third guard, that third defensive guard. But he was also a good ball handler. Like we were running a stack side for you at one point. Just go hard, right?
Just go hard, just go past.
Like D'Lo was a good finisher, just a strong ball handler, and just a good dude to play with. Like no issues,
no issues, and he knows the game. Like he went to Bergen Catholic, which is like the top school in the state for basketball.
He knows how to play the game. And we really needed that,
and
took us a long way.
And him being more mature, 21 coming in. I mean,
it was
tough. It was tough for other teams, but easy for us, man. Easy mesh.
Easy playing with y'all. I mean, on one end, you got the defensive player of the year backing you up and Mike Vick. On the other, you got an all first teamer in the conference. Chase Barneys getting you buckets on the offensive end. I throw Chase the ball like it's an assist. Chalk it up. It's an assist. Like, yo, I got Mike Vick behind me to help me out with coverage, bro. Mike guarding the other team's best players, bro. And Chase too, bro. Mike is getting some buckets too on you. I remember you had a couple crazy bang outs, bro. You would come through the lane. I think it was against
FDU, you caught one.
FDU, did you count one against Stevens too?
Nah, not Stevens. That's Q. Q had
one. He had a couple. You had a couple crazy bang out plays, momentum plays, and then Chase a lock up too. I remember, one vivid memory. I remember we went up to Willie P. and you're locking up their second leading scorer, Dom Mignon. Shout out my boy Dom too. I see him pretty often now. He be over at Millennial all the time now. He work with Brandon, but my boy Chase was over here locking down. These two dudes made it very simple to play with. They just make the game very easy to play with. Neither of them are trying to do too much. Again, both of them just know how to play the game the right way. And that's all it is. Basketball is a simple game. People trying
simple game.
Yeah. People trying to complicate it.
Just go have fun.
Simple.
Fun game.
Fun game.
The low-key aspect that it was funny, I respect about Mike. If you give him that ball with 3 seconds left, the shot clock cheese, man. Freshman year, I swear Mike had 8 buzzer, shot clock buzzer beaters.
I was throwing
it, bro.
What are you getting? Mike used to shoot one-leg shots in practice, and be knocking them down. So
yeah, I'm not hearing that too. You just said before you was like, yeah, I couldn't really shoot like that. Whenever we play 2-ball in practice, bro. I remember one time we were talking about, but shout out Steve. We was playing the 2-ball. I remember you could not miss. I was just shooting the one leg is going crazy. I'm like, man.
Having fun out there, man.
Yo.
If there's one testament to the leadership though of Mike and CB, and I know you guys are proud of Quincy, Quincy Rutherford, Q, Rutgers-Newark coming off of ECAC championship this year.
Sure.
And Quincy, 1,000-point scorer, but he was somebody that came in kind of under these two guys. And they kind of I saw his game grow year after year, and the way he put the work in, D'Lo alluded to that too with Quincy. I think that he got, some of those traits from you two. So I think that that's big kudos to your leadership on that part. We definitely want to get into a little bit of what you guys are into now. But before we do, I want to pay respect to our first sponsor on the podcast. This episode is sponsored and brought to you by By the Villa. The Villa is a sneaker, streetwear, and vintage clothing store brand located in Ridgewood, New Jersey. They carry the most exclusive, sought-after sneakers on the market, from Jordans, Dunks, V-Loans, essentials, and so much more, the Villa provides the hottest items at the best prices. So whether you're from America or across the world, the Villa ships worldwide, giving people all over the world a chance to get their hands on the most popular brands and fashion items. The Villa gets new inventory every day, so don't miss out. Follow them on Instagram at By the Villa. That's BUYTHEVILLA. And check out their website, www.bythevilla.com, and order from wherever in the world. The link will be in the description for you guys to go check them out. Shout out By the Villa, as always. Pleasure, Charlie and what they're doing over there. But with that being said, kind of want to jump into, what you guys are doing now. We'll start with Chase because, he's still on the basketball court as well as doing some substitute teaching at school as well. But
For sure.
talk about that transition, from player to coach. Like, what are the main differences you see there? And like, are you finding that passion for coaching that you've had for playing basketball?
Nah, yeah, the passion is still there, man. You could ask my team, man. Just having a bunch of energy, just always trying to stay positive because kids, once they do something bad, they make a mistake, they want to put their head down. It's like, you can't think like that. It got to be next play. Like, whatever happened before, you have to get that out your head, and it's next play because the other team does not care what you did. They're happy you did that, actually. So just next play, trying to stay positive and trying to stay together, man, is kind of like that's the hardest part about the job, just trying to stay together. And talking on defense, man. Guys, they talk in the locker room, talk in the hallway, but when we come in between the lines where it's really time to get gritty, no one's saying nothing. So I mean,
That sounds like a coach.
yo, for real.
Coach Juan, and I'm sure Coach locker room will say the same thing. Like, I hear you guys chatting in the locker room all the
For
time.
real, man. They don't say
Talk
nothing.
more.
It's like, yo, everybody needs to know what they're doing, what position they need to be in. I mean, because I don't like people scoring. So I mean, just trying to amp that up, man.
And quickly, from
For
our
sure.
guests, where do you coach and at what level?
Oh yeah, I coach at Woodbridge High School. I coach JV, and I'm the assistant head coach to varsity. So I'm working with the JV and varsity every day.
And from a coaching perspective, like, what do you look for in your kids? Like, what do they need to have to get on the floor to play for Coach CB?
Man, first off, you need to play hard. You need to play the hardest you could. Being able to handle the ball, being able to shoot. I mean, those are the two basic skills that you need to be really good. So if you could really shoot it, that means they're going to have to come out and play you harder. That's when you're able to drive it, open up the lane for your teammates. So, I mean, just being coachable, knowing how to shoot and dribble. I mean, those are the keys to success if you want to play, man.
For sure.
Being coachable. Being coachable.
And if for our young kids too, hopefully trying to make it on their high school
man.
teams or whatever. What's some things that young kids could do to stand out, to get a coach's attention? Get some more time.
Talking. Like, if you're talking on the court, like, people are going to look at you. They're going to look like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You're talking, but what are you doing after that? Are you getting on the floor for loose balls? Are you boxing out? Are you making the extra play for your teammates? Are you clapping it up? Are you giving your team touches? I mean, there's just so much you can do. Just stuff that you can control. Like, controlling what you can control is what I'm trying to get out of my kids. They're complaining about the refs and stuff. And it's like, no, you don't got to talk to them. Just look at yourself and see what you need to do to be better for the team. So
For sure.
just controlling the controllables, for sure.
Definitely. And on Mike Vick, we know that you are a longshoreman working at, Port Elizabeth. So for those who are kind of, troubled or upset about some of the supply chain constraints, we got somebody that you can look to.
That's not me. That's not my fault. Right, Mike?
All jokes aside. Mike, so why don't you tell the people what you do kind of working as a longshoreman and what your day-to-day might look like?
Yeah, longshoreman. It's the hours are crazy or whatever. But you really just taking all the boxes off of the ship and whatnot. You got different machines. Like, there's a straddler machine. There's a machine called a hustler. It's basically a truck. And you just work with the crane operators. The crane operators drop a box off of the ship, the loading docks and whatnot, and take it to a yard. It's really simple, nothing crazy. And then we also they control like the Toyota lots. So like all the Toyota ships that come from overseas come to the job. We got to take all the like the 2022 cars that's coming off, take them out, throw them in a lot and whatever. That's really it. This just the hours are crazy though.
Yep, and you feel like, that you kind of think that waking up for those 6 a.m. workouts with Lynn kind of paying off
Yeah,
nowadays.
nah, definitely. And just like time management and just being held accountable, like for being on time. Like my coach, like whenever I was late to anything, even Chase was on me whenever I was late. Having a teammate and a coach on you about that, that prepared me for the real world. Cause like you late to work, they on your ass, man. It's like you wasting their money, and I mean,
and they need you,
and you get you get your job taken. So sports definitely prepared me for the real world, most definitely.
So Chase, I want to go back to you on a little bit on your coaching right now. Is there anything that you've taken from your playing days and kind of have translated into your coaching style, or anything you've learned from your playing days that have helped you, become a better coach?
I would say what I give to my kids, I would say like reading your defender. You know what I'm saying? Like, say you're on the wing and he's like looking at the ball, like go back cut, like move, like create space for your team. You know what I'm saying? You can't just stand there like a robot. I mean, you got to move around, be free out there. Like we run a 5-out system. So, I mean, there's guys just flying all over the place, pass, cut away. Like it's hard to help. It's hard to help when there's no paint presence. So, I mean, we're trying to put everybody on the perimeter. We're just trying to let our kids use their skill. We got some young kids that are really nice, man. We're going to be next up. Just use your skill, use the space that we give you, man, and just attack. I mean, the jab cross, like the stuff that Tyler, I've been getting, like jab cross, you know what I mean? Between cross, behind the back, stomp dribble. I mean, I've been giving them a lot. I got some tools I've been giving them in my box, you feel me?
And Mike, what's one piece of advice you wish someone told you about starting your college basketball career?
Definitely how to manage your time more, because when you come in as a freshman, you just want to go out, socialize and everything. But it's really like, it's almost like a job. Like you got school and you got basketball. Like you got to put your priorities first and everything. So I wish I wasn't prepared. Freshman year, I was not prepared for that, like balancing both worlds of like school, basketball, and socializing with my friends, going out and whatnot. So definitely, I had to get some experience my freshman year, go through the ups and downs, grade-wise, to, become a better student and whatnot.
Yep, definitely. And kind of looking ahead, what is one thing that you guys, see yourself accomplishing in the future? And maybe we'll start with you, actually, Mike Vick, on this one. Like, what is the one thing that you want to kind of look back and say that, I did this or I accomplished that?
I definitely want to help people, like basketball wise. Like I want to start like an AAU team eventually later down the line when I'm older. That's one thing that always like crosses my mind. Like that's because it's giving back to your community too, as well as doing something that you love. Basketball and coaching and just being in control of like a program. Like that's something I always wanted to do.
I can definitely attest to that because I've been doing a lot of reffing this past year and just being around the game and just watching the kids play, whether they're good or not, honestly, it's just something about being in the gym with the kids, you know what I mean? And just watching them play, it's like you almost see yourself in them like, dang, well, thinking about stuff you would have did at that age and stuff like that, and just thinking about things that they could do better. Like, as a ref, you can't give them that advice because you're reffing. You got to be neutral. But I catch myself at times, I'm like, yo, backdoor. And I'm like, yo, right there. Like, point guard looking here. I remember I was reffing this game the other day. Point guard that was playing has good vision. He can really pass the ball. And he's just staring this dude down because the back door is wide open. Just looking at him, dribbling. And I'm like, yo, backdoor. Right
just
there.
Cut.
Like, I wanted to yell it so bad. Like, feel me? I couldn't. I'm reffing. So I feel the same way, Mike. I definitely want to get into some type of coaching like CB. Maybe not at the high school level right now, but definitely getting like maybe some type of rec team to start out with for myself and start to, just learn the ins and outs of how to mature a player and how to really develop them in those early stages. And Chase, I'm sure you can attest to this. Seeing how to develop these kids is not easy.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. It's not easy at all, but they're starting to get it though. They're starting to get it. They're starting to realize how much work you really need to put in to be good. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a couple times where we got blown out by 30. And it's like, I can't go out there and do it for you guys. Like you guys got to figure it out yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Whether defensively, offensively, it doesn't matter. I mean, you just got to go out there and outwork people for sure.
Compare that feeling when you see a kid now when you're coaching a kid and you see like they're starting to catch on a few things, compare that feeling to when you were working on your own game and you start to see like, okay, this is starting to translate. Can you compare the two or kind of compare and contrast the two and the feeling that you kind of get from that?
Well, I could say for like teaching, when I see like their development going, like they really start to like gain confidence, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you need at the level. You need confidence. You need people to really believe in what you're doing and what you want to do. So, I mean, just teaching, just trying to get them mentally right. It's hard, man. It's hard for the kids because they got to wake up for school, go to practice, go home, do homework, do chores, and it's just on repeat and repeat. But I tell them, like, life is going to be harder than high school basketball. So just keep on working. I mean, that's about it. That's all I can really say for real.
Yeah, no, I think that this, like the AAU basketball team or any kind of basketball team that, you know, any one or combination of us starts is going to be amazing. We got, you know, Team Battle, King Street experiences. I know Mike side, you know, Bergen Catholic, you know, L has obviously played on a number of great like basketball teams, Rutgers-Newark, and just experiences that he could take from. And so I think that, you know, we have all the minds and great minds of basketball that we learned from, and that seeing that all come together would be, you know, such a great thing to see. Mike, is there anything that, you know, kind of that you're going to be looking forward to in like maybe this year, like a yearly goal or like something that our viewers kind of keep a lookout for?
Yeah, definitely want to, you know, get life started, you know, get your own crib, get out my parents' house and whatnot. And definitely, you know, maybe 5 years, the AAU team could come into fruition by that time. You know, Juice Crew AAU team.
Hey, we got and the thing I like about it too is we all have different skill sets. So if we ran an AAU program, bro, we could be able to teach our kids a lot. We have a defensive specialist. We have a bucket, shifty guard. We have an ultimate dog who's one of the fastest guards I've seen with. And all I'll do is I'll teach them how to shoot.
For real.
Sound like some complete team right there.
Nah, it do sound good. I'm not even gonna lie.
CB, anything from you in the next 5 years that you're kind of looking forward to? Maybe you know a county championship.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Would that hurt though for you though? Woodbridge, you know, getting it or versus Colonia getting it, or you know,
nah? Colonia won their state section this year, so that was cool. Yeah, but yeah, definitely winning the state championship. That would definitely be good for the kids. Definitely be good for the high school. Bringing in new kids for the next generations. Yeah, that's about it. And getting life started, like Mike said, like moving out the house. You know what I'm saying? Having my own spot, doing me.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For sure.
And, you know, we couldn't have, you know, these great basketball minds kind of on the show today without jumping into, you know, some basketball. So we have our Start Cut Bench segment. But before that, I wanted to make, you know, a quick announcement to the audience, as well as this might be some news to Mike and CB, but one of the things we want to do as part of being Juice Crew, and we're only missing one member, Tommy, which you guys will hear from very soon. But we're going to open up, because as you guys know, we went to a new model this year where we shoot audio only among ourselves. And we just do the video for our guests in our interviews. And so what we're working on is establishing a call-in line for our audio for our Juice Crew members like Mike and CB. So when we are jumping into some Nets talk or some NBA playoffs or what's going on in March Madness, if Mike or CB are free, they'll have a line they could call in and share their perspective. And so encourage you all to look out for that. And we, you know, hope Mike and CB and Tommy will all be able to call in, and we'll have some very funny back and forth, like just like the good old days in the dorm, talking some basketball. But with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to L to get into our Start Cut Bench before we finish out for today.
You already know we got the infamous Start Cut Bench. We always have to get it in with our guests. So we'll start with Mike. We have Kyrie Irving, Jersey legend. Got your man's Jason Kidd. Scrub. And then we got CP3 as well, Mike. I need a Start Cut Bench all
See, I see what you do with that J Kidd one, man.
J Kidd and Kyrie.
This is hard, yo. I'm trying to be as objective as possible. Start J Kidd. I'm a bench Kyrie. I'm gonna have to cut CP3. That's hard. Yeah. 2 finals appearances.
All right.
Back to back.
All right.
Back to back.
Quickly, Mike, because we know you're a Jason Kidd fan and watched him a lot. What is maybe 1 or 2 things you've taken from his game, like, when you were growing up and like trying to model your game after?
Definitely playing both ends of the court. And just being a good playmaker, being unselfish. Like he was so unselfish, just always feeding his team the ball, flashy passes and everything. And yeah, that was my point guard, man. Like New Jersey Nets. When I was younger, I was like, when I first found out what basketball was or whatever, I'm like, yo, like what's does New Jersey have a basketball team? They're like, yeah, the Nets. I'm like, all right, like, who's the best player? Jason Kidd. So I'm like, that's always my man. It's like, I'm gonna have to start him over everyone. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Mike really do play like Jason Kidd.
He really does.
Like for real.
D, Mike played D.
For real.
Bro, it's a very they both good first, pass first players, assist men, bro. Bro, that's a very comparable player.
That's all I was watching.
Knocked down the whole watch. Yes, sir.
So I asked you, CB. We got so Kyrie, Jason Kidd, CP3. What you feeling?
I'm gonna have to start Kyrie.
Ooh, Jersey legend. Con.
I gotta bench J Kidd and cut CP3, man. Yeah.
All right. Oh, CP3 love.
Nah, man.
No.
I need J.
CP3.
Yeah, I need J Kidd off the bench. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I need someone that's compatible with Kyrie. I think J Kidd would do that.
Okay. We moving on to the last one. I'll start. Now this is for you, CB. We got All Prime. We have your man's Melo. We got Harden, and we got Steph Curry.
Damn.
Dark cut bench that.
Actually, mind you, before he goes, this guy right here, this guy had Melo jerseys all over his dorm room.
We had a battle.
Over. This guy got a McDonald's jersey.
It's
Even.
my
McDonald's
guy,
All-American, All-American.
It's my guy.
We had the battle between the Melo jerseys and the Yogi jerseys.
Yogi Ferrell.
That's the guy. That's my guy. Shout out, Yogi Ferrell. Somebody gonna pick you up.
Put in the comment section who knows Yogi Ferrell, bro. I don't know really what the fan is, bro.
For the younger crowd, I don't know if they gonna know too much.
Hey, I'm gonna make
In the comment section, right?
burner account like me.
Damn.
Shout out Yogi though. We'll be in the league soon.
Okay.
So hopefully.
I'm gonna have to start Steph.
Ooh.
Start Steph, bench Melo, and cut Harden, man.
I like that. You know what? I like that. I like that. Chase. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Melo. Yeah,
Mike,
I need
I'll
Melo
do
on the squad,
Same
bro.
question to you.
Co-signing that.
Melo, Harden, Steph.
Yeah, cosign. That's a great. Get Harden out of here, man. Get Harden out of here. Not rock.
Get him out of here, bro.
Can't bangs with man, bro.
Yo.
I Harden, man. I can't bangs with man, bro. Quit on the squad, bro.
Quit on the squad.
Quit on a couple squads.
That was wild
Harden,
early too.
for real. And I'm waiting for him to quit on the Sixers after they lose in the first or second round or whatever.
First round.
Yeah, like if they see
First round.
if they see KD and Kai, yeah, it's looking like a first round. And come on, Eric Adams, y'all blowing me right now. Y'all really blowing me. Get this mandate, please. Kyrie better be in uniform.
Oh, he gonna be in uniform.
Greatest show on the
He
court.
gonna be in Barclays. He gonna be in Barclays.
Killing me,
real
man.
soon.
Killing me.
Real soon.
Oh.
For sure. As always, we appreciate you guys coming through on the podcast. We appreciate you guys staying to the end of the episode. This has been another great episode of the Juice Crew podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next cup. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.